Hi, my name is Rafael Bejar. I'm a physician scientist at the University of California at San Diego. And I've been asked about CAR T cells as an option for patients with MDS. So let me start by explaining what a CAR T cell is. The CAR stands for Chimeric Antigen Receptor. And what that is a protein that we have engineered to recognize antigens or features of tumor cells on one end, and on the other end is a protein that stimulates the activation of immune cells. So when you put this protein that we've engineered into an immune cell, like a T cell, that T cell now has a new specificity, a new means of recognizing tumor cells that will then activate it. So this approach has been very successful in patients with B cell malignancies, things like lymphomas, leukemias like CLL, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and acute lymphoblastic leukemia. We haven't yet had that kind of success in patients with MDS or acute myeloid leukemia, in part because we don't have targets that are highly specific for the tumor. We don't want to use a target that is maybe on the tumor, but also on a lot of normal cells that would cause a lot of toxicity, for example. So we are now developing more advanced techniques to help target the tumor cells specifically. One of those approaches is to ask that the engineered T cell recognize more than one antigen. So it's perhaps if there's an antigen that's on tumor cells, but also on normal cells, if we look for a second antigen, maybe those pairs only exist on the tumor cell. So those kinds of approaches, I think, are very promising for CAR T cells in MDS going forward. Other approaches are to target proteins that perhaps normal cells don't need. We can then remove that protein for normal cells, give those cells back to the patient to reconstitute their hematopoietic system, their blood system, and therefore leave those immune cells that target that protein only on tumor cells. So these approaches, I think, are going to be very promising. We're not quite there yet for CAR T cells with MDS. Some of the targets that we've selected can be effective. However, like I mentioned, they might also remove some of the normal cells that we need to survive. So in the meantime, what I foresee is that some of these non-specific targets might still be useful at eradicating disease as long as we can then rescue a patient with some sort of stem cell transplant. And I think those kinds of approaches are likely to be in the clinic sooner than some of these non-transplant related CAR T cell approaches going forward.